Welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping in. Glad to see you here. Today we have more PortSwigger Web Security Academy. And we have SQL injection. We're doing the SQL injection learning path. This is part 2. We already did about maybe a little over half, about half, somewhere around halfway of the SQL injection learning path. And we're going to hopefully finish it up today. And yeah, it's going to be a great time. This demo is for educational purposes only. Ethical hacking is legal and differs from illegal hacking. Always ensure you have legal permission before performing what you see in this demo. Oh man, my webcam is offset. Let me fix that real quick. Yeah, this is a little weird. Let me put myself in the middle here. This demo is for educational purposes. All right, there we go. Sorry about that, guys. My apologies for that. What's up, Stormy? Thanks for stopping in. Glad to see you here. How you doing today? Oh, I'm struggling. Can you guys hear the music? You guys should be able to hear the music. I can't hear the music. Let me see if I can fix that. There we go. That should be good. This is a quiet song, I guess. Yeah, all my settings, they typically sit like they don't change from stream to stream, but occasionally they just randomly do. So that's why I was a little unprepared today. So I apologize for that. All right, let's go ahead and boot up our lab. Like I said, we do have the SQL injection learning path on the PortSwigger. Web Security Academy. Let me know if it's too loud. I'm glad you can hear, but let me know if it's too loud. It's a little louder than I normally have it, but I think it's kind of quiet normally. So I think I want to update it a little bit today. Need to move my mic. There we go. That's better. All right. So as you can see, we are 31 of 51 for SQL injection. So we are just going to resume what we've already started. If you haven't seen part 1, it's a past live stream. You can definitely go watch it if you want. However, that is not a prerequisite to be a part of this stream. Alright, so we solved this one, so let's go ahead and hit continue. So we have error-based SQL injection. Error-based SQL injection. Error-based SQL injection refers to cases where you're able to use error messages to either extract or infer sensitive data from the database, even in blind context. The possibilities depend on the configuration of the database and the types of errors you're able to trigger. You'll be able to induce the application to return a specific error response based on the results of a Boolean expression. You can exploit this in the same way as a conditional response. We look at the previous section. For more information, see exploiting blind SQL injection by triggering conditional errors. You may be able to trigger error messages that output the error returned by the query. This effectively runs otherwise blind SQL injection vulnerabilities into visible ones. For more information, see extracting sensitive data via verbose SQL error messages. Exploiting blind SQL injection by triggering conditional errors. Some applications carry out SQL queries, but their behavior doesn't change regardless of whether the query returns any data. The technique in the previous section won't work because injecting different Boolean conditions makes no difference in the application's responses. It's often possible to induce the application to return a different response depending on whether a SQL error occurs. You can modify the query so that it causes a database error only if the condition is true. Very often, an unhandled error thrown by the database causes more difference in application response, such as an error response. This enables you to infer the truth of the injected condition. Exploiting blind SQL injection by triggering conditional errors. Some applications carry out SQL queries, but their behavior doesn't change regardless of whether the query returns any data. Technique in the previous section. Did I read this? I thought I hit continue. I guess I didn't. Alright, there we go. Continued. To see how this works, suppose that two requests are sent containing a different tracking ID cookie values in turn. XYZ and select case when 1 equals 2, then 1 divided by... What is this, bro? Is this math? Like, what is this, fractions? I've never seen this before. 1/0 in a SQL query. Else A N... Okay. These get more and more complicated as we go along, and it gets harder and harder. It's rough. It's rough out here. These inputs use the case keyword to test a condition and return a different expression depending on whether the expression is true. With the first input, the case expression evaluates the A, which does not cause any error. With the second input, it evaluates to 1. Is this 1 divided by 0? 1 over 0? 1/0? Like, what is the proper way to say this? Someone knows, let me know, please. Which causes a divide by 0 error. Okay, maybe it is 1 divided by 2. Okay. If the error causes a difference in the application's HTTP response, we can use this to determine whether its injected condition is true. Using this technique, you can retrieve data by testing one character at a time. Gross. One at a time. This is a very long, very long thing here. Note, there are different ways to trigger conditional errors and different techniques work best on different database types. For more details, see the SQL injection cheat sheet. What the heck? Why do I have this in my... I wasn't clicking and dragging it. I just clicked it and it's like, let me move that around for some reason. That's weird. Blind SQL injection with conditional errors. This lab contains a blind SQL injection vulnerability. The application uses a tracking cookie for analytics and performs a SQL query containing the value of the submitted cookie. The results of the SQL query are not returned, and the application does not respond any differently based on whether the query returns any rows. If the SQL query causes an error, then the application returns a custom error messages. What's up, John? Thanks for stopping in. How you doing today? Glad to see you here. The database contains a different table called users with columns called username and password. You need to exploit the blind SQL injection vulnerability to find a password of the administrator user to solve the lab login as administrator user. Alright. This lab uses an Oracle database. For more information, see it. Alright. Let's go ahead and launch our burp here. Burp suite. Let's turn on our burp proxy here. Let's go ahead and launch the lab. There's a lot of steps in this, dude. Oh my gosh. 21. Visit the front page of the shop, then use Burp Suite to intercept and modify the requests. Alright, let's go ahead and just intercept on, and then we will refresh to intercept that request. And here is the request. There should be a tracking out. Yeah, there it is. Let's go ahead and send this to repeater. Easy enough. Alright, moving on. Let's go ahead and turn intercept off. Append a single quote. Verify that the error message is received. Alright, let's go to our repeater tab, and if we put a single quote here, we should get some. Well, let's just send this and see what we get. So we get a status 200 OK. So it looks like it works. That's exactly what we expect. This should get an error. Yep, 500 internal server error. Okay, cool. Now change it to 2 quotation marks. Oh, getting fancy on me now. 2 quotation marks. And now it is okay. The reason why, I believe, is because it closes the quote. So it actually quote makes sense. Verify that the error disappears, okay? This suggests that the syntax error, in this case is unclosed quotation mark, is having a detected effect on the response. If you need to confirm that the error is intercepting the injection as a SQL query, i.e. that the error is a SQL syntax error as opposed to any other kind of error, to do this you first need to construct a subquery using valid SQL syntax. Try submitting. Go ahead and send that. Got an error? Or okay. In this case, notice the query still appears to be invalid. This may be due to the database type. try specifying a predictable table in the query. Alright, let's try that then. $200 status, okay. As you no longer receive an error, this indicates that the target is probably using an Oracle database, which requires all select statements to explicitly specify a table name. Now that you've created what appears to be a valid query, try submitting an invalid query while still preserving valid SQL syntax. For example, try querying a non-existent table name. And server error. This time an error is returned. The behavior strongly suggests that the injection is being processed as SQL query by the backend. As long as you make sure to always inject syntactically valid SQL queries, you can use this error response to infer key information about the database. For example, in order to verify that the user's table exists, send the following query. Bro, blind SQL injection is so hard. Like, anything that's blind, like blind command injection, all that stuff, dude. It's so difficult, in my opinion. Because you can't see it. It's literally called blind. Oh my gosh. That's valid. As this query does not return an error, you can infer that the table does exist. Note that the where row num equals 1 condition is important here to prevent the query from returning more than one row, which could break our concatenation. You can also exploit the behavior to test conditions. First, submit the following query. Some dog eggs. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for stopping it. Is it some dog eggs or is it some Doge GGs? It could be either way there, I think. You can also exploit this behavior in test conditions. First query the following query. Verify an error message has been received. Now change it to we gotta verify that the error disappears. So much testing in blind SQL injection. This demonstrates that you can trigger an error conditionally on the truth of a specific condition. The case statement tests a condition and evaluates one expression if the condition is true, and another expression is if the condition is false. The former expression contains a divide by 0, which causes an error. In this case, the two payloads test a condition 1 equals 1 and 1 equals 2, and an error is received when a condition is true. You can use this behavior to test whether specific entries exist in the table. For example, you want to query to check whether the username and administrator exists. Verify the condition is true. That's not what we wanted. I think I messed it up. I did mess it up. Why is it not working for me? Oh, the error is received. Okay, yeah. We're supposed to get an error. Confirming that there is a user called administrator. Okay. The next step is to determine how many characters are in the password of the administrator user. To do this, change the value to... internal server error. This condition should be true, confirming that the password is greater than 1 character in length. Bro streaming an attack professional hacker hours in here. Yeah, I like to organize clothes on the stream. It's kind of like my thing. It makes me feel more professional. Also, whatever Metroid-esque dark ambient you're vibing to is good vibes for this. Thank you. I'm glad you like it. Yeah, honestly, it's not the best music in my opinion, but it's the best music that I can stream without getting a copyright strike. So there's that. Because copyright-free, royalty-free music is really bad, but this is White Bat Audio. He also goes by the name Carl Casey with a K. Carl with a K, Casey. And then, yeah, he makes all his music royalty-free for us to stream, which is really good. Really good. And I see other YouTubers using this music. I was like, dude, I like that YouTuber just because he has the same music as me. And it's like, he truly makes all his music royalty-free. And it's like, what a hero, man. I mean, we have Suno now, so you can just describe what music you want. Suno, is that the one? I was playing around with the app. It was probably the app you're talking about. This Suno, or however you say it. But it's the app that makes AI music. You just describe what you want. It's absolutely jaw-dropping flawless. I think I've used it before. I've definitely used a tool. I don't know if it's the same tool or not, but I definitely use a tool where you just give it a prompt and it makes music for you. And that's cool. You're right. It does make it really good music, especially what you're trying to vibe to, like pretty close to what you're trying to get. And if you don't get what you wanted, then it's usually because you gave it a bad prompt and you don't know how to prompt and you don't know how to describe what you want. So you're right. It does really cool tool. The only thing that I really dislike about it is the amount of effort it takes to make it. It really doesn't take that much effort. Like it's definitely easier than just building it from scratch. So I'm not trying to say it's hard, but it's easier for me to just go get someone else's playlist and use that music, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Because this playlist that we're listening to has already been pre-made for me, and I don't have to prompt an AI or anything like that. So, yo, what's up, Vinny? Who told you this? Who told you I was back in town? Also, bro, thanks for stopping in. How you been, bro? It's been a long time since we chatted. But yeah, man, I moved back. Like what, 2-3 months ago? I don't know. I'm just settling back in, man. Chris at Subway. Yeah, I was there. I went there one time. Now the whole town knows I'm back home. Trying to keep that stuff a secret. Figured, man, if no one knows I'm back home, then I can just work and I can live a distraction-free life. The Dova. Dova kid. That's funny. Yeah, I was at Subway. What was that? Like a couple of days ago. How you been, man? Thanks for stopping in, by the way. My B. Nah, you're good, man. If all goes good, I won't be here for long. I'm trying to move out of town. This is just a temporary thing for me. This was just like a temporary thing between the military and where I actually want to move. I won't tell nobody. I've been good, man. I just got out of the military, obviously. Like, what? It's been 6 months now, but I spent 3 months in Alaska after the military because that's where I was gonna end up just living, just because that's where my girlfriend wants, or my ex-girlfriend wanted to be. But we broke up, and I was like, oh, I guess I'll just move back to Ohio because there ain't nothing in Alaska for me. So I moved out of Alaska after we broke up. What did I do in the military? I was cyber defense operations in the United States Air Force. I did that for 6 years, active duty. I was in South Korea for 2 years, and I was in Alaska for 4. Send a series of follow-up values to test different password lengths. And we're gonna send this query here, dude. Dude, this is a long query, bro. Like, why? This is about where my SQL injection knowledge is just kind of like limited. I'm like, bro, I don't know how someone can figure this out. You know what I mean? Like, we fit the mark where, like, the entry level, beginner level stuff for SQL injection, I can do that all day. But then we get to this stuff, I'm just like, bro, I don't understand this. He said to stop and to say, hey, I don't know what's going on with this. Gotta go. Love you. See you, bro. Love you too, man. Thanks for stopping in. Alright. It's okay if you don't understand what's going on, because honestly, I only know half of what's going on. Like, I understand the principle, but these queries, I'm like, bro, how do you know, like, oh, we gotta do a select, and then we gotta do a case, and then we gotta do a when and the length, and it's like, bro, like, this is a lot. Alright, so we got an error there. Then send. And so on. What did we say? He just moved it up greater than 2. Then send 3. Yeah, man, hit me up on Discord, man. We gotta catch up, man. We gotta catch up and have a conversation, man. It's been a long time. Let's see here. We gotta do this over and over again until there's no longer an error, I believe, is what we're looking for. So that's still an error. So all we're doing is we're just changing this 3, change it to a 4, and we're doing this until we don't get an error anymore. I believe it's I believe that is what we are doing to figure out the length of the password. And once we know the length of the password, when did you find your love of hacking? That's a good question. That one's not easy to answer either. And the reason why it's not easy to answer is because, like, sometimes I don't even know if I love hacking, dude. Honestly. There's days where it's like, man, I don't really feel like doing this today, to be honest with you. But, you know, I guess I guess the more you do it, the harder it gets. And the harder it gets, the less enjoyable it is. You know what I mean? You would think at the beginning it would be hard. And it is hard. And then there's a point where it's like, oh, I'm actually understanding what's going on here. And then you get to the point where it's like, all right, I got all the entry level, beginner level, and like beginner and intermediate knowledge down. And then you start going after more advanced stuff. And you're like, bro, what did I get myself into? And it's like, I'm trying to get from, you know, my goal is to go from, from a pen tester to senior pen tester. And it just takes a whole, it's like going from like Saiyan to Super Saiyan, dude. It's difficult, man. It's not easy. But to answer I just decided like I really like cybersecurity because it came easy to me, honestly. Like when I was doing Security Plus, I'm not gonna say it was easy, but for me it was a lot easier than everybody else. And the reason why I know that is because I was in tech school in the Air Force. You know, I have hundreds of classmates, hundreds of other trainees that are around me, and they're all doing the same stuff that I'm doing, and they're not getting it. Like very few people got it as fast as I did. Matter of fact, I set the record for the best. Like they gave us a practice test, and if you did good on the practice test, then you could just skip the course and just go straight to the exam. And that's what I did. I didn't even take the course that they gave us because I self-studied so much before the practice test, and I set the record at the time for the highest practice test in the unit. And that's when I knew, I'm like, oh man, I'm like kind of a natural at this, and like I liked it a lot. And I was like, okay, well, you know, then I was like, I want to learn how to hack because I feel like that's like the coolest part about cybersecurity, ethical hacking. And I knew it was going to be hard, which is what got me into it, because I enjoy challenging things. Was it before the Air Force? No, I didn't do anything hacking related before the Air Force. I did like computers. I knew how to build computers before I went in the Air Force, and that was all fun. But then you get to the point to where you just know how to build a computer, and it's not fun anymore because it's not challenging anymore. It's the same thing, like every single time. You know what I mean? Because building computers is honestly kind of easy. And the password link's 20, by the way. I don't know if you guys are paying attention, but we have a status 200. Okay, if we change this to any other like any other length, 21, 22 here, we get an error. Oh no, wait. What just happened? I thought we was getting error. Let's try 19. Hold on. 19 is an error. How is 20 a good? Is 21 good? How can it be more than one good? 22? Now I'm just confused. 23? So anything over 24 is okay. Okay, so I guess I'm gonna have to assume that 20 is how long the password is, because it starts getting 200 okays at 20, and then at 19 it's server errors. 19 and below is server errors, so you can see here. But yeah, like yeah, I was just kind of, so for me, so I never really said this like publicly or on a stream or anything, or maybe even out loud, honestly. But I think the reason why I got into cybersecurity is just because like it was the thing that I could build a career in that I liked the most, if that makes sense. Like cybersecurity and hacking isn't my favorite thing in the world, but for work it probably is, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like if I can make money playing video games for a living, I'd probably be doing that or something or something like that, you know. But it's incredibly hard to make a living playing video games because you have to be extremely entertaining as like a Twitch streamer. And I tried that actually, and I got to a Twitch channel to be almost 10,000 followers. But that's not enough to make a living off of it. And then also the other way you can make a living off video games is be really good at competitive video games, which I was never good enough to be competitive. I was always good at a bunch of games, but I was never great at a bunch of games. So because of that, because once I realized I'm never gonna make a living playing video games, I had to make a decision to do something else, and that's what got me into technology. Because like, oh, okay, what else do I like to do that I can monetize, that I can make money with? Because I gotta make a living so I can feed myself and stuff. And basically, I was like, well, I can work on computers because I like computers enough. And then I just went from there. And then I realized cybersecurity was really fun. But yeah, like, moral of the story is, it's probably it's not the most fun thing in the world in my opinion, but it's out of all the things that I can make a living at, this is probably the top most fun thing, if that makes sense. Because like I said, if I can make a living playing video games, I'd probably be doing that. And I know I can't because, like I said, I actually tried that. I did Twitch streaming and I played competitive video games for like 5 years. Maybe if I would have tried it for a little longer, it might have worked out, but it wasn't working out the way I wanted it to. So I had to make a pivot, and that's what got me into tech. Why not software dev? That's a good question. I don't like programming at all. It's not fun to me. I have programming experience, and it's just not something that I personally like to do. Also, Max, thanks for stopping in. Glad to see you here. The only reason, yeah, programming helps me understand how to exploit things, but building applications or like a game or just programming anything really, software, it's not fun to me. As fun as hacking. Out of all the cybersecurity and IT stuff, penetration testing was the #1 thing for me, which is why I'm in the position I'm in now. Hacking sounds cooler anyways. Yeah, it does sound cooler, and that's why I got into it, because hacking does sound a lot cooler, and that's one of the reasons why I got into it. And I knew it was gonna be hard, so but it does, I would say it feels like a grind. It ends up like any other kind of profession, I think, where it's like it's gonna end up grindy. You know what I mean? It's not all fun and games all the time. And with hacking, it's like 1% of the time it's exhilarating when you break into a machine and you're like, oh my god, this is amazing. This is the greatest thing ever. But then like the other 99% of the time, it's like it's monotonous, boring work. But the payoff is like, oh man, when you break into a machine, you're like, oh dude, I did it. And that's where it gets fun. It's fun teaching too. That's why I do the content creation that I do. It's fun. It's fun to teach, and it's also fun to learn new things, like I'm doing here. But then when you get into the job, it does get a little bit grindy, because you're basically, it's very repetitive. But I mean, every application, every network that I do is different, but you use the same techniques on all of them. And I would say 99% of the time you're just not finding stuff, and then you'll very rarely find the finding, and then you report it. And then yeah, once you find a find, you're like, oh my god, there it is. It's exhilarating. Like I would literally scream at the top of my lungs when I find like a cool exploit. I'm like, oh my gosh, I actually did it. And then after that high where it's done, like, oh man, now I gotta write about it. And then reporting is not fun either. After determining the length of the password, oh, I didn't read this, and so on. And you can mainly use burps repeaters since the length is most likely. Since the length is likely to be short, when the condition stops being true, when the error disappears, you gotta determine the length of the password, which is in fact 20 characters long. We did figure that out. After determining the length of the password, the next step is to test a character at each position to determine its value. This involves a much larger number of requests, so you need to use burp and tutor. Send the requests you are working on to burp and tutor using the context menu. Go to burp tutor and change the value of the cookie to another thing with hacking and cybersecurity is like it's constantly changing, right? So that keeps it fresh, but at the same time it's like you constantly have to learn, and it's both a blessing and a curse. Because there's some jobs, like I've been in jobs where it's like, oh, it's the same stuff for years. You know what I mean? Like nothing hardly changes. But you're good at what you do, and you go in, you can get it knocked out in whatever amount of time it takes to do a thing. Like for me, like, you know, I've had jobs where it was the same thing all the time, and you get good at it, and it gets boring. But then on the flip side is like you get in a field like cybersecurity and ethical hacking, penetration testing, it changes all the time. And so it never gets boring, but at the same time you're like, oh my god, dude, like how am I gonna learn something new again? You know what I mean? It's constantly challenging. It's like I don't know. I think a good reference, like a good way of putting it, is like using video game terminology. Because I'm a gamer, so it's easier for me to understand. Imagine like a video game where you beat a low-level enemy over and over and over and over again. That's a job where it's like it never changes, and it's just the same thing over and over. Like you know how to do it, it's easy, and you just do the same thing over and over again. And cybersecurity and ethical hacking is like you have to fight the hardest boss in a video game. And then after you beat it, then you have to fight the hardest boss in a different video game, and then you figure out how to beat that. And then you have to fight the hardest boss in a third video game, and then the cycle continues. So it's always something new, but it's extremely challenging, and it's extremely frustrating because you're gonna fail like a billion times before you figure out how to beat it. And then once you figure out how to beat it, you're like, all right, well, now you gotta learn something new. So that's both, like I said, a blessing and a curse. This uses the substring function to extract a single character from the password and test it against the value. Our attack will cycle through each position and possible value, testing each one in turn. I have no idea what just happened. Oh, there we go. Never mind. I sent this to repeaters. Go ahead and send this. Alright, so we want to send this to intruder. I listen to your podcast about working dead-end jobs and the Air Force. Your story is inspirational. 35, starting a career in cybersecurity, trying to get as many certs as I can. Hopefully find a job. Good luck. And have fun. Because it is fun learning those initial stages, for sure. Part of me wishes, man, I wish I could go back and go get this entry level certs again, because that's when it was really fun to me. That was really fun to me. But like right now for me, it's like I'm experiencing a little bit of burnout myself, because I'm trying to get hard level certifications, and it's hard, man. Like going to the next level, it's extremely difficult and it's frustrating. But at the same time, it's I would say better to be in that position than it would be to not try to challenge myself and just do the same thing over and over. But I'm glad I can inspire you. And yeah, the next podcast is going to be more of that kind of stuff. It's dropping Wednesday, and I'm excited for that one. Although I'm a little bit worried about that one too, because that one was just off the cuff, man. that was a good episode. Some people might not like it, but I just keep it real. I just keep it real, and that's my thing, man. But it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good. I can't wait till the audience, like, see how the audience reacts to that one. So let me know if you like the next one or not. But I'm glad you like the podcast so far, because it's been a lot of work, for sure. Which is another reason. I think that's another reason why I feel like my career gets a little monotonous, is because the content, I like making the content. Like, I like recording the content, but editing the content and publishing the content, like uploading it, that's like monotonous to me. It's like, oh my god, like, I gotta write a description for this video, I have to create a thumbnail, I have to edit the video. That's why I like these live streams, because I don't have to edit anything, but I still have to schedule the stream and all that stuff, you know what I mean? It's like, man, I wish I had someone just to like tell the world I'm going live, and I could just turn on the camera and just go. And one day, I mean, hopefully the content gets big enough to where I can, have someone help me edit the content and like manage the schedule and stuff, so I can just create stuff. All right, so did we send this to intruder? We did, and we need to change this A. Not change this A, but we need to add this A. Is this all lowercase A to Z? Yeah, okay. We can start the attack here. This should work. Now, if we can filter our results based off of is the first character an A? Has to be. So the first character looks like it's an A. So let's change the second character, which I believe is this one here. Start attack. We're looking for a status 500. Q. This is so annoying. I have to do this one at a time. It takes so much time. Just gotta keep grinding until I finally start getting paid. Yeah, that's the thing about getting into cybersecurity that a lot of people don't talk about. is that you need to study for 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe even 6 years before you even get your first paid opportunity. So there's a lot of time where you're going to just spend studying, and there's going to be zero financial reward. Matter of fact, there's a negative financial reward because you have to pay for training. So you have to invest, and I talk about this, how you have to invest money, and I do my best attempt at explaining, like, I understand not everybody has money, but on the flip side is like, you can probably figure out how to make more money and save more money to invest in your training. And I talk about that for a while. I know it's on a finance channel, but you know, your training is very important, and training costs money more times than not. Obviously, there's definitely free training out there, but it's harder to find, and it's not as well structured, in my opinion. This is free training, by the way. This is probably some of the best free training you can get. But yeah, I talked about that a lot, and actually, that's kind of like the main theme of the next episode, which is really cool. But yeah, you just gotta keep grinding, and it's worth it in the end. It's worth it in the end. Like, once you land in your position, you're like, oh my gosh, like, I did it. But I think for me, what I'm struggling with is like, man, I've made it to my first pen testing position, and now that I'm settled in, is I hate staying stagnant, and I have to continuously grow. And the fact that I haven't got any new certifications. Well, I have since I started my new job, but not anything that was like been super challenging. And it's like, I feel like I'm staying stagnant, and I want to grow, and I'm not growing at the rate I used to grow at, if that makes sense. It's been a lot slower, which has been, I would say, humbling and very frustrating at the same time. Because I feel bad when I can't show that I've been growing, if that makes sense. Okay, we gotta go back to intruder. We got Q. We can close out of this. This sucks. Oh, we have to do this every one at a time. Next one's V. I wish there was a way that. No, there's really no way to. Actually, you know what? There is. We don't have to do this one at a time. We can do this. We can put a 1 here. We can hit. I just realized, yeah, we can automate this too. The fact that I'm lazy, that's what automation is nice for. Is like when you find a place where it's like, man, I don't want to do this over and over again, and then you're like, oh, I can actually automate this. I'll show you here in a sec. So we got to do a cluster bomb. No, we don't. We don't want to do a cluster bomb. We want to do a battery. All right. So this is payload 2. Payload 2 is going to be A to Z. Payload 1 is going to be numbers from 1 to 20, and we will start that. I think I messed that up. Not a pitchfork. There we go. This is what we want. We want a cluster bomb attack. There we go.
Access granted.
Isam Dev, thanks for subscribing on the YouTube channel. I appreciate you. What's up, Nellis? Is it Nellis? Nellius? Haveman, thanks for stopping. Glad to see you here. What are your thoughts about learning how to hack by actually hacking in live environments? Focus mainly on bug bounty programs. I use ChatGPT to explain to me interactions and testing angles. I'm not a fan of that. Honestly, I like learning in a live environment personally, because in a live environment, you could accidentally break something, for one, and for two, you can accidentally go out of scope and technically get into legal trouble. And so you have to be slower when you're in live environments, right? And when you go slower, you learn at a slower rate, in my opinion. I would, for me, I like to learn in live environments that are not live. And if I mess up or break something, it's not a big deal. Just reset the lab and try again. And then, you know, then apply what I learned in the lab into a live environment. Now with bug bounty programs, I mean, yeah, you can learn why you're doing them, but those really aren't set up to be learn, because bug bounty programs are, I mean, they're secured, right? If that makes sense. Like a bug bounty program exists because a company thinks they made an application or a website reasonably secure, and they're just opening up to the public to find their blind spots. Whereas in training, like, there's easy vulnerabilities to find, and when you can find easy vulnerabilities, you learn, if that makes sense. It's like what's the word I'm looking for? It's like, I guess sticking with the video games analogies, that's the only thing I can think of is like learning in live environments is like going to the final boss of a video game on a hard difficulty right off the rip. Whereas learning in a training environment, it's like starting the game on the easiest difficulty at the beginning of the game in the tutorial, if that makes sense. So I feel like if you go straight to a live environment, you're skipping that tutorial, if that makes sense. But you can definitely do it. I'm not saying it's impossible. I just say, for me personally, I don't think I would learn that way. I would get extremely frustrated, and I don't think I would actually learn anything, to be honest with you, for me. So far, I have a Bachelor of Science in Computing, Network Plus, and Google Security Professional Certificate, going for Sec Plus now. Not sure what jobs I should be applying for while I get Sec Plus. I live in France, and all the tech jobs ask for master's degrees. Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure how to get a job because I'm not in France, but what I can say is, after you get Sec Plus, go get higher level certifications. Sec Plus might be able to land you a job, but you definitely need to get higher training than Sec Plus. Sec Plus is really just like kind of the bare minimum, I guess. I'm not saying it's impossible. I just say it's still gonna be tricky with just Sec Plus. So definitely get higher level certs if you can, or training, hands-on training somewhere. What's up, Uva 13? Thanks for stopping in. Am I hacking the Pentagon? I am not. I am hacking a fake application that PortSwigger set up. Alright, we need to get, let's go look at the response. So we're looking for status 500 internal server. So we're going to copy this, and we're going to filter by this, apply. So we should only see status 500s. Okay, cool. And then we got to order these by request number. This is not in the right order. Oh gosh. AQV. These are the right characters for the password, but this isn't in the right order. Oh, here we go. Payload 1. No, sorted by payload 2. There we go. Sort it by payload 1 up. Here we go. That's the password. AQVJ. Alright, we got it. AQVJSIREG. I'm looking at this column right here, by the way, guys. DQIYVMZ. Perfect. That saved us a lot of time. And we should be able to log in now. Go ahead and just intercept's not on anymore. Let's go back to here. Go ahead and my account. Username administrator. Well, dang. Administrator. Paste. Login. Saying it's an invalid password. Wow. AQV. Here's my notes, by the way. Oh, you got it. So AQV JSIR JSIREG EG DQIY DQIY VMZ VMZ. Huh. I thought that would be the password. Why did it not work? AQV JSIR AQV JSIR EG DQIY VMZ. Huh. No, that's not working. That should be the password, dude. Oh, that's frustrating. Oh, because I'm missing 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where did payload 4 go? 1, 2, 3. 4 is gone. 4 is missing. That's why. 5, 6, 7 is also missing. 8, 9, 10, 11. I don't know why. So we're missing payload 4. We're missing payload 7. We're missing 13. We're missing 18. We're missing 4 characters, that's why. Alright. Well, that explains a lot. Let's go ahead and close this. Go back into our intruder. Let's try this again. We're going to do a simple list for our payload position 2. No, payload position 1 is 4, 7, 13, and 18. Let's go ahead and start attack on this. That's so weird, dude. Why did it not work? Okay, let's go back to sniper attack and then we'll clear that. And we'll just say, hey, we'll just do this the manually way. 4, start attack. Oh, no, cancel. Payload type is a simple list, and we want to run. What are we gonna run? We want to run A to Z. Let's go ahead and start that. Bro, there's no status 500. That doesn't make any sense. How can they all be status 200? That doesn't make any sense, dude. How is it possible that... Yeah, let's just... Could be uppercase letters too, but they said it was all lowercase, I thought. Ooh. Oh. Oh, okay, that's what I missed. A to Z and 0 to 9. Okay, yeah. So they are numbers. That's why we're not getting anything, because we didn't put numbers in our payload. Alright. Let's go ahead. Can I go back? I wish this was like repeater where I could just go back. Let's do 1 and 1. Let's go add. So payload, we want to go cluster bomb. Payload 1 is numbers from 1 to 20. Perfect. Payload 2 is (0 to 9). So letters A to Z, numbers 0 to 9. Now this will give us the entire full password. I made a mistake of not including numbers. I thought it said it was only letters. I didn't read it enough. We can sort by payload. Well, we want to. No, that's not what we want. We want to sort by 500 server. Apply that. and that's what we want. So as you can see, after V is a 0, after S is a 6, and then 13th place is 7. So after D is a 7, and then after V and before M is a 6. So this right here is the full password, this column right here. Alright. That should work. Perfect. We're in. Damn, that took way too long. Why did that take us an hour? There's probably going to be a part 3 to this stream, guys. That's so unfortunate. How long it takes to do these labs. Let's go ahead and refresh. Extracting sensitive data via verbose SQL error messages. Misconfigurations of database sometimes results in verbose error messages. These can provide information that may be useful to an attacker. For example, consider the following error, which occurs after injecting a single quote into ID parameter. This shows the full query that the application constructed using our input. We can see that in this case, we're injecting into a single quoted string inside a where statement. This makes it easier to construct a valid query containing malicious payload. Commenting out the rest of the query will prevent the superfluous, did I say that? Superfluous single quote from breaking the syntax. Extracting sensitive data via verbose SQL error messages continued. Occasionally, we may be able to induce the application to generate an error message that contains some of the data that is returned by the query. This effectively turns an otherwise blind SQL injection vulnerability into a visible one. You can use the cast function to achieve this. It enables you to convert one data type to another. For example, imagine a query containing the following statement. Cast select example column from example table as integer. Often the data that you're trying to read is a string. Attempting to convert this to an incompatible data type such as an integer may cause an error similar to the following. This type of error may also be used in a character limit, prevents you from triggering conditional responses. This lab contains a SQL injection vulnerability. The application uses a tracking cookie for analytics and performs a SQL query containing the value of the submitted cookie. The results of the SQL query are not returned. The database contains a different table called users and with columns called username and password. Solve the lab, find a way to leak the password for the administrator user, then log into their account. What's up, NeoFetch? Welcome to the stream. Welcome back. How you doing today? Go ahead and click access the lab. Just close out of the other lab. Nice background sound, by the way. I'm glad you like it. Dang, man, they didn't like the freaking 6-pack beer belt. Got 1 star. $97? No wonder why I got 1 star. Holy crap. But I'm very busy this last week's with college. I feel that. I feel that. That's good though. You're saying busy. That's it's better to be busy and working towards your goals than to not be busy and not working on your goals and making your life better, you know? So that's what I tell myself when I'm really busy. Why did I not get intercepted? Oh, I guess I didn't turn intercept on. Try that again. Alright, so I got it in repeater. Let's go ahead and turn intercept off now. Can you get one of these beer belts for me? Looks like an ultimate cybersecurity tool, better than Hack 5 stuff. Yeah. We need one for coffee. It's a coffee belt so you can stay up all night and hack. I drink like 1 liter of strong coffee almost every day. This is the password right here. Look at that. So the discover process is like pretty much steps 1 through 17, and then this is the final query that you would submit. Basically, you would send. Basically, like this is some of the stuff. It's kind of crazy how I read this to myself in a matter of minutes, but basically, you can verify that there's SQL injection error by doing a single quote, and then if you comment out the rest of the query, it basically confirms that there's no error there anymore, which means there is SQL injection vulnerability here. And then if you send this one right here, tells you who the first username is in the user table, and then once you get that, then you can send this one, and you can get the password of the first user. So this is final query, and then when you send this and burp, it gives you the password. These SQL injection vulnerabilities are incredibly difficult to just. This is a lot. We should be able to log in now. I think that's a password. We'll see here. I haven't solved it yet. Yeah, it is. Okay, cool. Exploiting blind SQL injection by triggering time delays. If the application catches database errors when the SQL query is executed and handles it gracefully, there won't be any difference in the application response. This means the previous technique for including conditional errors will not work. In this situation, it is often possible to exploit the blind SQL injection vulnerability by triggering time delays depending on whether an injected condition is true or false, as SQL queries are normally processed sequentially, synchronously. Gosh, this is such a weird word. Synchronously, can't say it, by the application. Delaying the execution of the SQL query also delays the HTTP response. This allows you to determine the truth of the injected condition based on the time taken to receive the HTTP response. The techniques for triggering a time delay are specific to the type of database being used. For example, a Microsoft SQL Server can use the following to test a condition and trigger a delay depending on whether the expression is true. The first of these inputs does not trigger a delay because the condition is 1 equals 2 is false. The second input triggers a delay of 10 seconds because 1 equals 1 is true. Using a technique, we can retrieve the data by testing one character at a time. There are various ways to trigger time delays within SQL queries, and different techniques apply on different types of databases. For more details, see the SQL injection cheat sheet. This slide contains a blind SQL injection vulnerability. The application uses a tracking cookie. Okay, we already know that. The results of the SQL query are not returned, and the application is not responding differently based on whether the query returns any rows or causes an error. However, since the query is executed synchronously, it is possible to trigger conditional time delays to infer information. The database contains a different table called users with columns being username and password. You need to exploit the blind SQL injection vulnerability to find out the password. Hint: you use some of the useful payloads. Dude, they act like their cheat sheets like gives you all the answers, but their cheat sheets actually not that good. I'm just gonna throw that out there. So this is very similar to what we've already been doing. The only difference here is we got to do a time delay, which is put in the query. So it's really the same thing. It looks like. Again, I haven't got it done yet, but it looks pretty much the same to me. Let's go ahead and send this to intruder. What's up? How are you now? Welcome to Stream. Thanks for stopping in. Glad to see you here. Alright, so we want to do add. We want to do a cluster bomb attack. Payload position 1 is numbers. I think it's, is it still 20 as a password length? Yeah, 20. From 0 to 20. Well, just 1 to 20. And then for payload 2, we want to add A to Z, add 0 to 9. And we will start the attack. You should create a Kyser soundtrack playlist so I can tune. Do you have Spotify? All I do, honestly, this playlist is already on Spotify. It's just search for White Bat Audio or Carl Casey. Either one is gonna give you some playlists. Right now, I'm listening to White Bat Audio by Scallywag78. So if you just type in White Bat Audio and look for playlists on Spotify, that's how I got this playlist. Now, if you're listening on other platforms, then I'm not entirely sure where you would get. Well, he has playlists too. If you go to YouTube and you go and type in White Bat Audio, he has a playlist as well on his YouTube channel. So there already is playlists, but that's how I do it. I never build these out. If I downloaded all his songs, it would take me probably a whole week just to download all the songs and put them in a playlist. There's so many songs. He's got like hundreds of them. We only want 5. I don't know why I didn't get any responses on this. We gotta sort by not error, response. How do I sort by response? Do you solve TryHackMe rooms in your live? I haven't done a whole lot of TryHackMe live. Actually, I don't think I've ever done TryHackMe live. I do have some TryHackMe videos on my YouTube channel, but I haven't done anything live yet. Although I will definitely do live TryHackMe in the future. I'm thinking next week I want to be doing TryHackMe, so just to try something new, to keep the stream fresh and try something new and to explore new areas. I have spent a lot of time on TryHackMe. That's one of the reasons why I haven't been doing TryHackMe, because I have the 365-day streak bet on TryHackMe, and honestly, I completed like 90% of that platform. and I'm in the top 1%. I spent a long time on TryHack, and the reason why I haven't trained is just because I've already did it all. So they had a new room that's for beginners, so I might explore that one for you guys, for the beginners out there. But we'll see how that goes, and if there's a lot of people wanting to watch it, then we'll keep with that. If not, then I'll hop off that. So I think I'm gonna give it a try next week, but don't hold me to it. I might change my mind, but I'm thinking about doing TryHack for next week. How do I sort these by? How do I sort by response time? You just see a column in the results called response received. I don't see huge gaps in the response received on any of these. You think it's a good idea to try Acme Live? Yeah, let's give it a try next week. We'll see what happens. It is way more beginner friendly for sure. And they did release a new learning path that we can do that I haven't done yet, although it should in theory be below my skill level, but it'll help out people who are new to the field, so we'll give it a shot. Let's see here. What? How's this not working? What's the deal? Why is it not doing anything? I don't get it. It should be trying this stuff out. It doesn't make any sense. It's not working. Start attack. It's just doing one baseline request. What is, it's just, I don't get it. It's broken or something. Oh. I understand everything now. I didn't launch the lab, dude. I'm silly. What's up, CVE Guru? Dude, have you ever heard of dark mode? Blinding folks here. Believe it or not, when it comes to burp, I like dark mode on everything except for burp. And it's just because I've used burp so much in light mode that it's just my preference. So I'm sorry. Everything else I have is in dark mode though. How do you even put burp in dark mode? That's a good question. I figured it out one time and I was like, I don't really like this. But I can see why it blinds you, I suppose. Alright. Dude, are poning every machine and you are worried about dark mode? You know why? Oh, I just figured it out. The reason why I can tolerate light mode is because I have a setting on my monitors to dim it. So that's why it doesn't bother me. I just realized. Yeah, when I don't have that setting turned on, it does blind me. That makes sense. Yeah, I got like this orange hue on it, if that makes sense. What's it called? It's called night mode in Windows, I think so it's called. I turned that on. And it kind of just gets rid of a little bit of the blue light. So yeah, I know what you mean. Without that, I would be blind, for sure. But yeah, I turned that on so save my eyeballs. Alright, this should work. So if I hit... Yeah, you gotta have them. If you work professionally, or even as like a student on computers all the time for multiple hours every day, you gotta have it. Text mode, what's text mode? Alright, so payload 1. So we want a cluster bomb attack. Payload 1 is numbers 1 to 20. Payload 2 is A to Z and 0 to 9. And let's go ahead and start this. So everything that has a super high response receive, so the ones that are in the thousands, those are valid characters. So we need to I wish I can apply more than one filter on these. I wish I can. Wonder how I can. Makes the white screen look like a white sheet of paper. It's a feature on my monitor made for reading and writing. It makes the screen look like a white sheet of paper. That sounds really cool. I wish I can filter. So these are valid characters for our password all the way down to here. So if we 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So anything over 10,000 is a valid character. But that's not the right order. And that's the next challenge, is we gotta figure out the right order of these. I wish I can apply a sort here. I wonder I can do that. Response. They're all the same response. Well, what I can do is I can actually just take all these and highlight them to red and then sort by payload. So anything that's red is a valid password character. Can I remove? I can just remove. Just have to do this in order. It's gonna take a second. So we got in, we have B, we have E, we have H, we have 0, we have 2, we have H, we have S, we have 0 again, we have 0 again. 2 zeros in a row? That's kind of wild. We have an 8. We have an S. We have an O. We have a Z. We have a Q. We have an O. 1. L. R. M. Yeah, that's it. Just gonna minimize that just in case I messed it up a little bit. We can go back to it. And then let's go back to the login panel. We want to turn intercept off. Hit my account. Administrator. And by the way, if you guys want to know what the password is, the password is this. Now, if you guys do this exercise, you'll get a different password. It's different for everyone. I think it's different for everyone, but that did not work. Dang, dude, what the heck? Ugh, doesn't make any sense. I thought that was the password, bro. I was confident in that one. You know what? I might have had it in the wrong order. I think I might have did it in the wrong order. That's okay. I'm gonna take what I have here. I'm gonna give it to ChatGPT, and then I'm gonna have it reversed the order. All right, let's try this again. Yeah, that worked. I did it right. I had it in the wrong order. Perfect. Exploiting blind SQL injection using out-of-band OSAT techniques. I don't know what the OAST stands for. Out of... Yeah, I don't know. The application might carry out the same SQL query as the previous example, but do it asynchronously. The application continues processing the user request in the original thread and uses another thread to execute a secret query using a tracking cookie. The query is still vulnerable to SQL injection, but none of the techniques described so far will work. The application response doesn't depend on the query returning any data, a database error occurring, or on the time taken to execute the query. In this situation, it's often possible to exploit the blind SQL injection vulnerability by triggering out-of-band network interactions to a system that you control. These are triggered based on an injected condition to infer information one piece at a time. More usefully, data can be exfiltrated directly within the network interaction. A variety of network protocols can be used for this purpose, but typically the most effective is DNS, domain name service. Many production networks allow free agents of DNS queries because they're essential for the normal operating of production systems. Exploiting, it's just continued. The easiest and most reliable tool for using out-of-band techniques is Burp Collaborator. This is a server that provides custom implementations of various network services, including DNS, that allows you to detect when network interactions occur as a result of sending individual payloads to a vulnerable application. Burp Suite Professional includes a built-in client that's configured to work with Burp Collaborator right out of the box. For more information, see the documentation for Burp Collaborator. The technique for triggering a DNS query are specific to the type of database being used. For example, the following input on Microsoft SQL Server can be used to cause a DNS lookup on a specified domain. This causes the database to perform a lookup on the following domain. You can use Burp Collaborator to generate a unique subdomain and poll the Collaborator server to confirm that any DNS lookups occur. Alright, let's go ahead and close the lab. Access the lab. So this shouldn't be too bad because close out a contributor. This is, we just got to trigger a collaboration, I guess. Or out of band. This is such a long. Let's get a repeater. Take our tracking ID and paste this. And then we need to get our collaborator. Do I just copy the clipboard? Let's get a repeater. Did that work? That did not count as solving it. How does collaborator work? Poll now? I've only used collaborator like one time before and I'm not. Copy a clipboard. I should be able to just paste this right here and send this. Then when I get a collaborator, I don't get nothing. What? I don't understand why that didn't work. Right click, select insert collaborator payload to insert a collaborator subdomain. Huh? Why is this not working? Polling automatically. I don't don't get it. I don't understand why this ain't working. Close out of this, try this again. Paste this right here. Oh, that might work. Still didn't work, bro? There we go. I think that should work. Now that I got it. That should have a lab pass now. There we go. No, it wasn't working the first like 20 times I did it. I don't know what I did wrong. Having confirmed a way to trigger out-of-bound interactions, we can use the out-of-bound channel to extract data from the vulnerable application. For example, this input reads the password administrator, appends the unique collaborator subdomain, and triggers a DNS lookup. The lookup allows you to view the captured password. Out-of-bound OSAT techniques are a powerful way to detect and exploit blind SQL injection due to the high chance of success and the ability to directly exfiltrate data within the out-of-bound channel. For this reason, OSAT techniques are often preferable, even in situations where other techniques for blind exploitation do work. Go and access the lab. Should be the same exact thing, except it's just a different payload here. Can I clear these? I guess not. Well, I guess I can create a new one. Alright. Out of this. Get a fresh slate here. Then let's do intruder. Not intruder. We'll close out of these. We're done with intruder for now. And the proxy. Turn intercept on. Refresh this. And we want to send this to your repeater. Close out of our last one. And then we want to grab their payload here, which is this. Very long. Goodness. Paste that, and then now we just need our collaborator URL. So copy clipboard, go back to repeater, put in our burp collaborator subdomain right there, and send that. And in theory, we should have a password, but we don't. Why? Why does that not do that? Vertical collaborators. Just weird. HTTPS / URL encode this. Let's see if that works. Nothing, dude. Oh, there we go. Perfect. Is that the password? There's 2 requests, so is it this one or the other one? I don't know. There we go, that's the password right here. We can go back over here. We can turn intercept off. And we should be able to log right into the administrator account. Or not. How's that not right, dude? Go ahead and try this again. Copy the clipboard. Come back to repeater. It's like hit or miss with this. Seems like it's pretty inconsistent. I think I know. I think I had an extra period in there or something. Bro, I don't know what's going on here. Oh, because I got 2 HTTP : // Oh, well, that'll probably do it. Let's get rid of that. Let's try that. Man, now I can't get nothing on my collaborator. I can't get it to trigger back. Well, let's try it again. Turn reset back on. refresh, not that. Oh my goodness. Turn that off. Turn our set back on. Refresh. Send this to repeater. Go to collaborator, close out of these. I just don't understand how this didn't work as a password. And then we'll paste this as our cookie. And then we gotta get our collaborator URL. Copy to clipboard. And then we will put that. Oh, the period stays there. Oh, that's why. The period is supposed to be there. It's weird. Send. Collaborator. Oh, there we go. Okay, I was gonna get upset for a minute. Like, how does that not work? Alright, we got something. Request. Response. This is the same response. How is this not? The password. I got the same password as before, so why is it not working? We did request an administrator password. Administrator. Let's go ahead and turn intercept off. Go to my account. Administrator. And paste that password. Bro, what? Should appear in a subdomain as of the interaction. Am I looking at the wrong thing? Might be looking at the wrong thing. This is the password right here. UX. I think, I don't know, man. That might be the password right there. Huh. Subdomain. Okay, here we go. Yeah. That's the password. Subdomain. Why is that not working? There we go. That worked. I guess if you copy it. I guess I had the wrong format or something the first time. Alright, cool. What's up, Wire Dog? How's it going, man? I was wondering where he's at today. I was like, man, I switched these streams on Monday and Wire Dog Sec don't even show up anymore. I was literally just thinking about that. Not even kidding, like 5 minutes ago. I was like, I switched these streams to Monday and Wire Dog don't show up no more. He must be busy on Mondays or something. Welcome to the stream, man. How's it been? Alright, that's that one's done. We're almost done. That might have been the last lab. We only have a few more pages to read here. SQL injection in different contexts. In the previous labs, you used this query string to inject your malicious SQL payload. However, you can perform SQL injection attacks using any controllable input that is processed as a SQL query by the application. For example, some websites take input in JSON or XML format, and you can use this to query the database. These different formats may provide different ways for you to obfuscate attacks that are otherwise blocked due to WAF, that stands for Web Application Firewall, for those that don't know, and other defense mechanisms. Weak implementations often look for common SQL injection keywords within the request, so you may be able to bypass these filters by encoding or escaping characters in the prohibited keywords. For example, the following XML-based SQL injection uses XML escape sequence to encode the S character in select, as you can see right here. This will be decoded server-side before being processed by the SQL interpreter. SQL injection with filter bypass file XML encoding. Gross. Inside contains an SQL injection vulnerability in its stock and check feature. The results from this query are returned in the application response. You can use a union attack to retrieve data from the other tables. The database contains a users table, which contains the usernames and passwords of registered users. To solve the lab, perform the SQL injection. Hint. Alright. If I send this should Give me the password, maybe? Attack detected. What if I... just put this all in one line. So attack detected. Just says attack detected. Oh my goodness. I feel like the indentation is what's messed up here. I don't know, man. That's weird. I'm doing exactly what it tells me to do. Hacksverter, I gotta install an extension here. Hacksverter, I'm gonna install this. Let's try that. Let's go back to our repeater tab. Oh my gosh, it actually worked. second order SQL injection. First order SQL injection occurs when the application processes user input from the HTTP request and incorporates the input into a SQL query in an unsafe way. Second order SQL injection occurs when the application takes user input from the HTTP request and stores it for future use. This is usually done by placing the input into a database, but no vulnerability occurs at the point where the data is stored. Later, when handling a different HTTP request, the application retrieves the stored data and incorporates it into a SQL query in an unsafe way. For this reason, second order SQL injection is also known as stored SQL injection. Really? I did not know that. So I knew second order SQL injection was a thing, and I knew stored SQL injection was a thing, but I didn't know that they were the same thing. That's wild. Okay, cool. Second order SQL injection occurs in situations where developers are aware of SQL injection vulnerabilities and so safely handle the initial placement of the input into the database. When the data is later processed, it is deemed to be safe since it was previously placed in the database safely. At this point, the data is handled in an unsafe way because the developer wrongly deemed it to be trusted. How to prevent SQL injection. You can prevent most instances of SQL injection by parameterizing queries instead of string concatenation within the queries. These parameterized queries are also known as prepared statements. The following code is vulnerable to SQL injection because the user input is concatenated directly into the query. So this is vulnerable. You can rewrite this code in a way that prevents the user from interfering with the query structure, as you can see here. Go ahead and continue. And I think that's it. Oh, one more. Last one. Continue. You can use parameterized queries for any situation where untrusted input appears as data within the query, including the where clause and values in the insert and update statement. They can't be used to handle untrusted input in other parts of the query, such as table or column names, or the order by clause. Application functionality that places untrusted data into these parts of the query needs to take a different approach, such as whitelisting permitted input values, using different logic to deliver the required behavior. For a parameterized query to be effective in preventing SQL injection, the string that is used in the query must always be hard-coded constant. It must never contain any variable data from any origin. Do not be tempted to decide case by case whether an item of data is trusted, and continue using string concatenation within the query for cases that are considered safe. It's easy to make mistakes about possible origin of data or for those changes in order code to taint trusted data. Well done! You've completed SQL injection. We completed SQL injection, baby. Now if we go to my dashboard, look at that. We're making progress, baby. 12% done. Alright guys, that's going to be the end of the stream. We don't have any more SQL injection, so next week we will be continuing with, not next week, next PortSwigger Academy, which might be in 2, 3, 4 weeks, it just really depends. I think I'm going to alternate between Hack the Box, PortSwigger Web Security Academy, and Try Hack Me, so you'll see every 3 streams, so every 3 weeks, you're going to see me get back on this platform and do more stuff. But the next time we do the PortSwigger Academy, we're going to do another one of these learning paths. And sometimes these longer ones, like the ones that are, 55 long, that's going to take 2 or 3 streams to do. Whereas something like, 19, that might be a single stream. So next stream will be the same time next week, guys. We're doing Mondays now. If you didn't get the memo, Monday night streams, starting at 7 p.m. Eastern time. That is 4 p.m. Pacific time. And next week, I'm thinking about trying hack me. So we'll see what I end up doing. And yeah, I'm thinking about doing some try hacking next week. And then I also do Hack the Box as well, which will probably be 2 weeks from now. So got a lot of content on the way, guys. If you haven't checked out my YouTube channel, I got a lot of videos. Check out my podcast, The Hacker's Cache. It's on all the platforms, all the podcasting platforms if you're into podcasts. Definitely check that out if you're interested in that. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for hanging out. You guys are amazing. And I will see you guys in the next stream. Thank you so much for the support. Peace out. Take care. Have a good one. Kyser out.